when you guys brought the associate on, what's his name again?
Will.
Will.
Mm-hmm. Will Cannell.
How beneficial do you think that is for both the church and for the new guy coming in to have those like few years, 3 to 5 years of that transition time?
I think it's huge. If you can find a good fit, I think it's incredibly beneficial, and it involves an awful lot of give and take, but and there's a lot of dynamics involved in that, in terms of how ready is he, how ready am I to step away, all those things, because let's face it, there is part of the reason why we like ministry is because it boosts our ego.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a pastor of a church. I'm a minister of this size church,
Mm-hmm.
and getting the strokes from people and different things like that's ego boosting.
And even standing on a stage on a Sunday, and having 100, 200, 300, 1,000 or whatever people listening to you, that's always an ego boost.
Yes,
it's not like we just talk about that in a sense of just be careful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not wrong to have a feeling of like, man, that feels good, right? But it's when you start letting it then become, this is mine, right? That's when it's negative. So did you guys have like a step progress where you would be like, okay, we're in phase 1, then phase 2, then phase 3, and now we're getting to a point where like Mark is pretty much like ready to just hand the reins over, or was it like a hard break?
It was, I had originally put together a transition plan that called for me to retire at 68. And so it was much longer term, because I just kind of envisioned that I'd be okay, And as we were going through the transition time, there came a time when Pam and I just really started asking the question, is it time? And God in His grace, we did some very serious prayer and fasting over it, and there was and we did it at separate times, and it was very interesting because we pretty much agreed on the date or the time that we would do it. We talked about a couple of options. Pam came back from her prayer and fasting time and said, I think this is probably better. And I had come at it from a different perspective, but pretty much settled on the same thing, of what would be best for the church. Now, when we made that decision, this was just before coronavirus hit.
Oh, man.
We made the decision in 2019, okay? And then coronavirus hit.
That's
and
crazy.
We went into shutdown in March, and we opened back, and I had already announced in December of 2019 that I would be retiring on June 14th. That would be my last Sunday. And so, that was kind of humorous in terms of God's sense of humor, and we took it in stride and everything, and it was perfectly fine, But what was interesting was that we were able to open back up the first Sunday in June.
Oh, okay.
And we did it with social distancing and everything like that. But so the last 2 Sundays we were able to be together with people and say goodbye. There were other plans that didn't materialize, but that's okay. It's
not like you went back to Italy. You're still here.
Huh?
Right? Yeah. Like